Betting on sports can be hard, but hiring Morgan & Morgan is easy. Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. They have over 100 offices nationwide and more than 1,000 lawyers. Their fee is free unless they win. For more information, go to forthepeople.com/bestbets or dial #law, #529 from your cell phone. That's forthepeople.com/bestbets. This is a paid advertisement.
Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah. This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. Welcome in. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Mitch Moss, Pauly Howard. We're live in downtown Las Vegas for the next 4 hours. Yes, we are here. It is Christmas week. On the air today, we'll preview Monday Night Football plenty of times today. We'll go over the weekend that was, a lot of the favorites that got there from Friday night until yesterday afternoon. Pauly is in a festive mood. You have a terrific Christmas sweater on. That's an all-timer. That's like a 9.8 out of a 10.
Yeah.
If I could give it a 10 probably if you really wanted me to. Explain this, what you're wearing, though, to the audience.
Christmas doesn't start till Hans Gruber falls from Nakatomi Plaza, Nakatomi Tower. Yeah.
Now, that's really well done.
Love. Die Hard, baby. Yep.
How'd you know that was available? It just came across like one time when you were shopping for something, or?
Fitz, I think, found it. Fitz loves Die Hard. Works here at Circa.
Who doesn't?
And I love Die Hard. There's guys behind the glass that haven't seen the movie.
Well, they were born after it was made.
Yeah, right. So Die Hard's one of the best action movies, one of the best films all time.
Terrific.
And certainly I saw it. I'm like, this is the coolest sweater I've ever seen.
I love the sweater.
Yeah,
really.
Hans Gruber.
They got machine guns on the sleeve. I just noticed that right now. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Plenty of guns on there. Why wouldn't there be? Right.
Yeah. Oh, it's good. It's always on too. It's always on.
Yeah.
I love it.
I think it holds up. I think it's rewatchable. I also think that Lethal Weapon. There's a little Christmas element to that movie. Very well done.
Sure.
Both movies, I think, made in the same year. What a time! What a time! Who was the better action star, Mel Gibson or Bruce Willis?
Willis was good.
Yeah, he was really good.
Yeah, I also think Die Hard closed strong too. Kept going. Lethal Weapon. Then they brought in too many characters, and it got ridiculous.
Oh, you mean like as they made number 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever?
Pesci
I would totally agree.
Guys came in, right?
Yeah,
Chris Rock, yeah.
So I had one bookmaker tell me this weekend that they can't wait for the NFL season to end. Said that they can't win a game. Now, nobody's feeling sorry for the books, obviously.
Well, we talked about it Monday. Home dogs have been atrocious.
Sure. It's a tough NFL season. Mm-hmm. I like betting dogs. I like betting home dogs. So not great there. And if you go back and look, here are some of the numbers, and you'll know why. Favorites, if you go start Friday night, the Notre Dame-Indiana game, until right before the afternoon games yesterday. 12-2 ATS at one stretch is what I have. Chalk is, this was, again, before the Patriots covered yesterday, the Niners and the Cowboys last night. I saw something that Chalk was like 34-8 going back. ATS in these games, NFL. That is absolutely incredible, Pauly.
Yep.
So if you're just almost blindly bet, how many parlays do you think were cashed?
Forget it.
I know that some were absolutely open to the NFL based on what happened Friday and then all day Saturday with all those home teams getting there.
Yeah, they probably caught a break with the Eagles, but other than that, you're right. Notre Dame, no problem. Teasers cover, no problem. Texas and over. Penn State, no problem. Ohio State, no problem, although Tennessee was popular.
They were.
And then what happened in the NFL, where you knew that the Chiefs were going to be popular? What happened with Mahomes coming back and Baltimore going from 5 up to 7? I can't. Now, at Circa, we'll get the story from Nick Bogdanovich coming up, but they're a sharp book, and they take a lot of sharp money and professional money. But I imagine like the Will Hill, the Caesars, the MGMs, it's got to be a DraftKings, got to be horrible.
Well, I mean,
just because of how that adds up, and a lot of it Detroit covered, teasers spread, no problem. It continued into Sunday.
If you just did the Friday night game into Saturday, and if you did zero research whatsoever, and just blindly put in a 16 parlay, you never really even had to sweat it out. That's the craziest part, maybe, to me. Who was a real threat? There was nobody. Clemson maybe early in that game, but that got completely out of control.
Should have got the money, though. Shotgun from the 1 yard line again.
How about that?
3rd and goal, 4th and goal. It's ridiculous.
And I had Klubnik anytime touchdown plus 340.
Eesh.
Big. Every which way but loose on that.
Oh.
So that was no good, and he had multiple opportunities. But SMU, they were never live. Indiana, forget about it. Ohio State game, you had the face mask, obviously. How big was that? Then all of a sudden it's 21-10, but that game was basically over with. And you could tell the Buckeyes were the better team. And then the Chiefs looked awesome on Saturday, and Ravens clubbed the Steelers. I mean, just what a Christmas gift. If you were just, here you go. Here's a round robin I'm going to put in. Give me all the favorites. I don't even care what the numbers are. Oh, you're going to cash, no problem.
Yep. And bad Russell Wilson showed up, too.
He did.
Handed him the game. I'll let the fumble slide, trying to make a play, okay. But the pick six, where are you throwing the ball? That is an early Christmas gift for Baltimore in a huge game. Horrendous throw, horrendous decision. But it was so easy for people, too. And we'll get to it coming up, but it sucked that all the games were. We said we closed the show Friday. Let's get some close games. Okay.
Never did.
No.
Never happened. And by the way, watching that for 3 hours with Patrick Mahomes, scored the first touchdown of the game. That was a very juicy number, right? He went flying over his rushing yards early in that contest. He looked completely fine to me. And when they had to open it up against a good defense, they let her rip. And I thought the Chiefs overall, and Mahomes included, I thought they looked awesome. So here we go. Is it my imagination, or has this happened like every year for the last 3 or 4 years with them? Mahomes is hurt. He's a little gimpy coming off the sidelines, coming onto the sidelines. I don't know if he's going to play. He's questionable for the game. Comes out there, and he made it look easy.
Right, and he had the new toy. I mean, he gets Brown back, too. So many weapons. And now it's like, okay, well, this offense is dangerous, and with that defense, good luck. Weird game. It just, the whole vibe was off. Stroud's crying after the horrific injury to Dell. That changed things, and it felt like a preseason game afterwards. What happened? Because it was such a traumatic injury, and guys are losing it. But here they are with a chance to go 16-1. The other thing, it just, knock it off with this high ankle sprain. Whoop! 2 days later, full participant at practice.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, he should be able to, couldn't even get around, you would think, what they were reporting and how bad it looked. And, I feel great. And then he goes out there and he looks at 40-1 cash, his first touchdown of the game.
Yeah, super believable now with the Chiefs, right? Is he going to play? We don't know. That was like last Tuesday. By Tuesday afternoon, no, he's going to be good the way it looks. Okay, so then I think we're only down to 3 teams in the AFC. I guess somebody could shock the world, but who's going to do that outside of Kansas City, Buffalo, and Baltimore? I think we're starting to see a little bit more of how real the real Steelers here are stepping up, I think, late against better competition. The schedule is now finally catching up with them. Okay. And I don't trust, if Denver gets in, I don't trust them for a second. I don't think the Chargers are going to do much damage, especially if they have to go play somewhere like against Buffalo on the road in the first round. And Houston, I want to get there with them. I can't.
Oh, you can't overcome this now, right? You don't have Diggs. You don't have Dell.
Yep.
Stroud has not played well. You can't get the running game going. And that's just devastating now where he's with the ACL and then the leg, the knee rather. So I know I love this Baltimore team. The defense continues to get better. You're still concerned. Can you get a stop? Can you get a stop when it counts? And then they forced a couple turnovers. But this game on Christmas is huge. It's so big. The Kansas City can lock up the 1 seed, and then they can sit people. What that would mean for Denver, Miami, Indianapolis, and Cincinnati, because Denver's going to beat the Chiefs' backups. And that's the division, too. Because if Kansas City can beat Pittsburgh, that opens a door for Baltimore. Mm-hmm. And then we could get Baltimore against Buffalo for the right to go to the AFC title game. And that would be A+, can't wait. Get your popcorn ready. So I can't wait for Wednesday. These games are huge on Christmas.
The Ravens were plus 180 2 weeks ago to win that division. They are minus 150 today. The writing was on the wall. The reason why I didn't buy in, even last week they were plus 140. I didn't buy it because early in the week, I'm like, I don't know if Mahomes is going to play. So Mahomes doesn't play. I probably don't like Carson Wentz's chances to go to Pittsburgh and win the game. I'll just let it breathe for a minute. That's what you get for waiting for 2 weeks. The Ravens are now minus 150. They were plus 180. You don't even really have to wait that long to catch a ticket like that.
Well, they also get Cleveland at home to close, and Pittsburgh's got to play Cincinnati.
That's right.
And Cincinnati might need it like blood.
Of those 4 teams right now, that would be potentially the last team into the AFC. The Broncos, the Dolphins, the Colts, and the Bengals. Who would you not want to play?
Miami. They're getting their act together defensively. If I can get Waddle healthy, Hill healthy, Tua healthy.
I'm going to do Captain Obvious here. I want to play Miami because they can't beat a good team.
Okay, that's
been a problem for McDaniel now for a while.
Right, but Cincinnati can't stop anything.
I know that. But how many defenses are going to be able to slow down what we're watching here?
Yeah. They're fun to watch, but they couldn't put away Cleveland. I mean, I was just waiting for them to end the game, and it's 17-0, hanging around. DTR making plays. We dismissed the Colts. Denver has issues defensively. That was bad in the Thursday night game. Can you trust Knicks? Fine. You want to go Cincinnati? Okay. But I just think they can't stop anything, and Miami's getting their act together defensively. And to win a game like that where Hill's dropping touchdowns and you don't have Waddle, and I got Jonnu Smith, it's just going to be what a pisser that Miami's going to go 9-8 and miss the playoffs. Number one, because he got hurt and they couldn't beat the Colts and they led 10-0 in the second quarter and didn't score the rest of the game.
Well, I'd say the same thing about the Bengals, starting 0-3.
That's right.
This year, how
it's
many
on
games
Taylor
did they blow?
right there. Gave them away.
They weren't ready for the season.
Come on, you lost to the Patriots with Brissett at home. It's going to probably keep you out of the playoffs. Ridiculous.
I can't make a case for any of those other teams to even win a game. I can make a case for the Bengals to actually do some damage here because Baltimore is a division rival. I don't think the Bills want to see Joe Burrow come to town whatsoever.
Well, they should have lost to Miami at home, though. I mean, that was your survivor play. Mostert puts it on the ground. That was a tough game.
Also, which team in the AFC has given Patrick Mahomes more fits than anybody at home?
Right.
It's that dude. I get it. I know what you're saying. And there's no way I could ever justify saying, I think the defense is going to be better. They can't. Why? Why would they be? I mean, it was okay yesterday. Let's factor in the quarterback there. That was DTR. So you're not going to get much from the Browns offense, by the way, much more on that. I tip my cap to the Browns for what they did yesterday. And I want to go scorched earth on what another team did out here locally that was complete buffoonery. So one team got it right. The other team proved to be one of the dumbest organization in all of sports, in my opinion, yesterday. But I just think that if they could get, and they're not going to get in, by the way, the Bengals need basically a miracle to make this happen.
Yeah, they're blocked. They have to win out, and they need at least a loss. They do one loss from Miami and the Colts.
Yep. And the thing is, those other teams play all week teams.
Yeah.
So, meaning the Colts and the Dolphins. The last two games on the schedule for both teams are, they're going to be huge favorites, and one would think anyway. So, there you go. There's the weekend. We'll get into Monday Night Football preview coming up next. We'll tell you what happened with Circa Survivor this week. I cannot believe it, and you're going to love how the Saints are preparing for the frozen tundra tonight. Hear for yourself next on VSiN.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Pauly, we do have one of the biggest point spreads the entire year in the National Football League tonight. Frozen tundra, Lambeau Field. Packers are laying 14 or 14.5. That number is out there on the board as well if you're looking to grab the Saints. And the total is 43.5. I think we were all wishing that they would flex out of this Monday night game weeks ago, but they never pulled the trigger. So here you go. The Packers have some fantastic numbers, like metric-wise, on both sides of the football. And the Saints has been a kind of a throwaway season just because they've had so many injuries and the record is so bad at this point. But the Packers overall, if you go with EPA per play, they are 8th in the entire league. On defense, they are 6th. The Saints are below number 20 on offense. They're exactly middle of the pack on defense. And I will point out that under Matt LaFleur, the Packers are 39-12 straight up. That number is 31-20 ATS at Lambeau Field, but they're only 3-3 ATS when they're laying 10 or more points with him as the head coach.
Yeah,
and they've never laid this many points at home with him.
Yeah, Love's never been more than a touchdown. How about that? Packers win, they're in. So normally I would say lay it here, and the Packers could bury them. But the fact that Rattler looked good to close that game against Washington and brought them all the way back, maybe gives you some pause here now. But they're just so beat up without Olave and no Kamara now, which it's screaming Miller props in this game. He's way too low. I mean, you think the young quarterback's going to dump it off to this guy. His receiving yards are only 14.5. But maybe they take some shots deep to Scantling. But the first things first is they're worried, they're concerned about the weather. And they know it's cold. A lot of guys aren't used to this, and it's in their heads, and they're talking about, it's going to be cold. What are we going to do? How do we get ready for this? We're walking into a buzzsaw, right? I mean, it's crazy how they're treating the weather.
All right, this is great. This is their quarterback for tonight, Spencer Rattler. He was asked how they're preparing for the frigid temperatures in Green Bay.
We've had a little conditions out here windy-wise this week, but even this morning, Janoko took us in the cafeteria freezer where it was like 10 degrees. And we're just going through the whole script in there. And so just doing that, I mean, that helped a lot. So hopefully it's not 10 degrees, but, we'll be ready.
How long did you ever call plays in a freezer?
What's up?
Was it the first time you ever called plays in a freezer?
Yeah, that was the first for me. But Janoko's an interesting cat, man. Y'all would like him.
Did you get out as fast as possible?
We got through it probably in 5-10 minutes. We were in there for a good little minute, but it was good.
Creative, good.
I love the creativity.
Let's call the plays. Let's get in there and huddle up in the freezer. A little more than 5 to 10 minutes, though, but that's it's 10 degrees. Give you a feel. Okay.
I have 33 in snow right now in Chicago, in Green Bay.
Yeah, all right.
Right, it's snowing right now, but it looks like tonight it's going to be right around freezing, and it looks like the snow is going to go away.
Are you concerned that there could be looking ahead to the biggest game of the NFL season Sunday?
Maybe.
They know what's on deck. Now, I know winning in, but again, their objectives to win the game. We're asking them to win by more than 14.
That's a big number. I got to tell you, I would actually say this. The last 2 weeks for Minnesota and the last 2 games for Detroit.
Right.
Absolute monsters.
Sure. The 1 seed's on the line.
It is.
Sam Darnold can get the 1 seed now.
Yep. Okay, some other numbers here that I like in the game. First of all, unders with Darren Rizzi as the interim head coach. Saints 4-1 to the under.
Yep.
They've only scored 20 points in one of those games. When you flip it, Green Bay has scored 30-plus in 4 straight games. Will the Saints defense, and I have some more numbers on them, are they bad enough to allow Green Bay to go off at home tonight? Their run defense, it's been really, really bad. When you look at DVOA, they are 29th on defense in adjusted line yards, 24th in power success allowed. They have a 3rd worst stuffed rate, and they're 29th overall in the second level. When you look at what running backs have done against the Saints going back, this is from week 3 to week 13. So it wasn't every week. And did I cherry pick some of the running backs here? Probably. But here is that list. Barkley had 17 for 147 and 2 scores. Kareem Hunt had 27 for 102 and a touchdown. Remember in week 6 when the Buccaneers had 550 yards of offense? Sean Tucker had a $136 and a touchdown. Bucky Irving had 81 and a touchdown. Javonte Williams had 88 yards, 2 scores on that Thursday night game. Chuba Hubbard had 15 for 72 and 2 scores. Bijan the following week, 20 for 116 and 2 scores. Kyron Williams a couple weeks back had 15 for 104 and a touchdown. Josh Jacobs is around $3, Pauly, to score 1 touchdown tonight, and like plus 175 to score 2.
I saw that. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's unbettable.
Yep. You think the over would happen with the rushing attempts?
I think the attempts too.
But also, you were on this early. Green Bay takes shots, a lot of shots, and the Saints give it up. So longest reception, longest completion for Love. There's a prop here at Circle. Will Watson have 80 yards? And that is plus 360. It only takes 1.
Yeah.
And they're going to take a lot of shots down the field. And if they hit on a couple, and I think they will, then you're going to cash a bunch of tickets there. And the Saints against good teams, 1-6 ATS against teams above 500, they fail to cover 4 in a row on the road. So they're playing hard for this guy. He's trying to audition for the job. They hung in there against the Rams and almost beat them. Tough game with the 14, but I would lean under here, and I would really like those props I just talked about, and also Miller. I mean, it's got to be all about Miller now because he's replacing Kamara. Right. And to see he's as low as 14.5 with the receiving yards and like only 50 and a half for the rushing yards. Yeah. He's going to get plenty of chances here.
Sure. If you can find 19.5 rushing attempts on Josh Jacobs, I think that's a really good number.
Cohen had that today on vsin.com.
Oh, did he?
I think it's up to 21.5, but
that's what I'm seeing right now.
There's some 21.5s out there, but if you can find 19.5, I'm with you.
You can find 20.5 over at plus money. Do you like that idea?
Okay.
That might be worth a bet. 20, because every other place has got some severe juice on that, or they've gone. Oh, there's a 22.5 out there as well. Definitely shop around as always. So 19.5 looks to be gone. But that guy's having a really, do I even call it like under the radar season? Jacobs is crushing it.
Mm-hmm.
I know, by the way, it is fantasy season, and a lot of these players know that.
Good point.
Look at Achane yesterday.
Oh, God.
Do you think there's a reason why he scored that touchdown when he didn't have to?
That was so bad. Oh, that got me good.
Oh, what, the in-game unders or something?
Everything. Yeah, put the game over. I'd have been.
Oh, no,
well, it went from 49 to 44 with the total.
Right.
And that, yeah. All of it. In play. Killed me.
How many times have we seen that yesterday? Where in recent years, starting with Todd Gurley, probably 5-6 years ago, against Green Bay, backs are like, I'm taking a knee. That's a smart thing to do. In fact, the backup for the 49ers did it too early this year.
Yeah.
And again, game wasn't over with against Seattle.
Yeah.
And so they're aware of this. And in a spot where it totally made sense for him to go down, he didn't. He goes into the end zone, keeps the game open for San Francisco.
Hunt did it for the Chiefs.
That's right.
Ripped one off and just, okay, that's it.
I thought in my head when I was watching, I'm like, HN must know it's fantasy playoffs.
Yeah. How big was the Hurts?
Oh, my God.
Can you imagine what that did to fantasy?
If
And maybe the Eagles losing the 1 seed? I mean, that's incredible that he gets knocked out of the game with a concussion.
I know.
And what that meant for fantasy, 1 seed, every playoff picture, all of it.
Is that one of the reasons why you tapped out with fantasy?
Yeah.
Because it's so random.
One of them, yeah.
Let's say that you're 11-3 or 12-2, whatever that is, and Jalen Hurts has been your quarterback the entire year. You're in the playoffs, and he goes up. I mean, it's demoralizing.
Yep.
But it happens all the time.
Yep. Absolutely.
Okay. Can you believe what happened in Circa Survivor?
Were you watching the show live Saturday night?
Negative.
Okay. So I texted you Saturday night. I go, can you believe this? And you were on it probably before I was. I reached out to Paul Bovey, who's still alive. Chris
I saw it on
Massaro.
Twitter, yeah.
Chris Massaro. I just cannot believe what NFL wise guys did. I feel bad. But he has 2 left. He's played it beautifully. He had 2 left, and he put both on Arizona. And he had Buffalo and Atlanta available.
That's the part that really
You
got
have
me.
an advantage. You've earned your advantage. You can split them up. You have 2. And he put them on the same team, and he put them on a road team against a Carolina team that's covered 5 in a row as a dog. And he has Buffalo available. Was going to use Buffalo. I was trying to get his game plan for Christmas. I couldn't understand his tweet. He was going to save Buffalo for the final game, but the game might not mean anything. Buffalo might not be playing for anything. So, yes, it was close, and Buffalo could have lost, but also from a hedging standpoint, you take the home team, they're laying 14. You take even the rookie quarterback, Penix, laying 9 against the god-awful Giants. If you want to go 1 on Arizona, okay, maybe I can get there. But 2?
2, both.
And Buffalo's available. And
What did Paul Bovey say to you? He's still alive, by the way, in Circus Survivor. Was he stunned that the person put 2 on Arizona?
Yeah, he was surprised, yeah. But he's also rooting for chaos. And
No, he wanted it to go down for sure.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're right. I'm not rooting. I hope that everybody wins. I'm not rooting against anybody. But when I saw that they took Arizona with both of their selections and they had Buffalo and Atlanta, I was speechless.
I know.
I really was.
On both. Now, I guess he would use the option Wednesday. 1 Pittsburgh, 1 Kansas City.
That was probably the play.
But I just... And I hope he hedged and got a good one.
So
but
do
then
I.
again, he's had a lot of luck. That was the 3rd time he had a team go to overtime.
You mentioned that in the tweet.
That's one, right? Because he had Miami when they had no business beating the Jets.
I heard Derek on Thursday following us. He said that at that point, people had already wired in collectively about $1.6 million to set up hedging opportunities. I hope that person was able to capitalize and make a lot of money on that ticket to this point.
Now, then you had the tie scenario.
Oh,
that was
absolutely you
getting
did.
late. That was
Yes.
getting late.
We'll go over playoff scenarios. Check that. We're going to go over the weekend that was in college football and more importantly discuss point spreads and totals for the quarterfinals up next.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Idaho Potato Bowl. Fresno leads Northern Illinois 13-10. Want to become a sharper, better this holiday season? VSiN has the ultimate gift for you. Take advantage of our great special. Everything we do through May 1st, $79. Every best bet, every host, every guest. The betting splits from DraftKings and Circa. 24/7 video access. The betting guides as well. Make this holiday season unforgettable. VSiN.com/subscribe. Unwrap your winning edge today. Again, we continue to deliver the stuff that's on the site every day. NBA, bam. Prop analyzer, bam. Monday Night Football, college hoops, everything have you covered. Jonathan Davis on hockey, A+, VSiN.com. Get it now.
I have some doozies a little bit later on in the program from the NBA prop analyzer.
You're damn right.
Very good. Okay, so in our heads, leading into the first ever home sites for the college football playoff, I thought, the entire country, we were all thinking the same thing. Well, my God, it's going to snow at all these sites, and the games are going to be epic, and it's going to be the best weekend of football that we can ever remember. And it was the exact opposite in everything I just mentioned. Got no snow.
Mm-hmm.
Every game was a blowout. And by Saturday, I stopped watching. Early on in the Ohio State game, I'm getting on with my weekend. So, but
unfortunate.
But
the
it's unfortunate.
But the atmosphere was unbelievable.
It was.
And the setting, and we need that again. We don't need neutral sites here.
Do not.
Imagine if Penn State was going to the Smurf turf. Can you imagine?
Oh,
but
absolutely.
But no, Fiesta. Why is Arizona State's here? Why aren't they playing down the street? There's a bowl game. No, because we have to pay this Jagoff $1 million to run 2 bowl games a year and work 3 days a year because it's a good old boy network, and this is how we've done it, and this is how it's going to be. So we're going to ship Arizona State out to the East Coast, and it just, we got to keep the Bulls. Rose Bowl has to hold us hostage every single year. Same time with the kick. Sun's got to set at 5 o'clock. Going to have to start the Sugar Bowl at 5:45. Everyone's going to pay for it the next day because it's going to go till midnight on the East Coast like last year. Just why do we do? Well, that's how it's done. We got guys. We got a payroll to meet. These guys have to make $1 million to put together a bowl game. It's laughable.
I know. That said, you're exactly right. And I do think that they're going to expand at some point, not go back. They're going to go to 16, and I think all these teams are going to get a home game right away. Now, here's my concern, though, and I think we should have probably emphasized this more leading into it. These college teams are going to be playing 15, 16 games per year. What does that mean? That means it's going to be a war of attrition.
That's right.
And these teams are going to have a lot of injuries the longer the season goes on for them. And we've seen that already with at least Notre Dame. We saw with another team over the weekend, too, where it's like, that's going to be difficult to overcome if this continues to happen. And why wouldn't it, right? It's the same thing in the NFL. The more games you play, there's a good chance that some of your guys are going to get banged up and you're going to miss time.
And that's what happened to Notre Dame. And you're right. Injuries could decide this because you're playing 17 games now, some teams.
Oh.
Yep.
So also, I need to remind people that we're very quick with all their opinions during these blowouts. First of all, no, again, those other teams did not belong in. If you want to argue that these teams, obviously based on one game, I got to tell you that every team that was on the outside looking in, with the exception of Miami, got blown out this year. How do you know? How do you know? By simply telling us that because SMU got blown out, because Indiana was a dead team in going into that game against Notre Dame, because Clemson got crushed, how do you know that Alabama or Ole Miss or South Carolina would have given us a better game? You don't, because all I have to do is point at what happened in the regular season. Don't lose to Kentucky, Ole Miss. Lane Kiffin, get off Twitter. You sound like an idiot.
Yes.
Everybody's screaming for Alabama. You lost to a bad Oklahoma team. You got blown out by a bad Oklahoma team. You didn't get better suddenly because these other teams lost. And, oh, by the way, we had the 4-team playoff for 10 years. Do yourself a favor. Take 10 minutes out of your day this week and go down Wikipedia and put in every single year and tell me how many blowouts you see.
You want it?
It happened every single year.
The last 10 years in the semifinals, 20 games, 14 of the 20 decided by 2 touchdowns or more.
There you go.
8 of the 20 decided by 3 touchdowns or more.
By the way, good teams.
That's right.
The brand name teams, the Blue Bloods, getting crushed.
Think about that. Think about it. 14 of 20 by 2 touchdowns or more. And we're acting like this has never happened before. And it's like, Brett McMurphy had a great point. Well, we weren't taking away anything from you. You weren't losing anything. We gained these games. You would have been stuck with the New Mexico Bowl or the stupid Potato Bowl.
Right, you would not have been watching anyway.
Yes.
Right.
So it didn't work out. Those are the breaks. So be it. But this was a fluke year. It's an odd year. And it's just, no one could compete. And that's maybe goes back to get the home game. It means something. Look what the home teams were able to do. So, 14 of the 20 semifinals, Route City. And people acting like, they saw Bigfoot or something.
Wow. Well, also, it was based on our expectations, too. As I was saying, we wanted snow, we wanted close games, didn't get it, so people were disappointed, and they want to
Well, I think this is sexy. I think these are great matchups on paper. I hope it delivers. The little guy has to have a seat at the table, and we get to see one of the best running backs ever to start the day. Maybe the blowouts continue, and that could happen in the first 2 games. I hope not, but there's big point spreads.
And I got to say, Paul,
I would say the one thing they'll do away with might be the win your conference, get a bye, and do something here with Arizona State and Texas getting buys. Because certainly if it was Boise going to Notre Dame or something like that, how it's set up, you figure to get closer games. But who knows?
So Penn State, they are laying in this game to Boise. They're laying 11 points in the Fiesta Bowl. And the total is 52. I got to say this, and I don't care if people might be screaming from the mountaintops. SMU was a better team for a quarter and a half.
I agree.
I don't even know how you can debate it.
Going up and down the field.
And Jennings just lost his mind, and holy hell, was that a bad performance out of him.
Yeah.
Does the game completely change if he doesn't miss the receiver on 4th and 1, or he simply picks up the first down because he already had it?
7-0 SMU, and then Penn State becomes tight, and Franklin gets worried? I think it changes the game. And they just, you hand him, that's a 28-point swing, Mitch.
Yeah, right.
2 pick sixes, guy wide open for a touchdown, misses them. Then they're in the red zone, he throws another interception. They lose by 28. That's like, it's 21 points right there.
I know.
No problem. It happens. So he had a Jake Delhomme moment. Up and down the field, interception. Right down the field, interception. It's terrible.
So I thought Texas looked awesome. I mean, most of the teams that did look impressive and win by margin this weekend did. But Texas now laying 13.5 against Arizona State. Isn't this total maybe a little bit too short? 52? Or am I overreacting to what I just watched? Because I think Dillingham and the offense for Arizona State against this really good Texas defense can at least put some points on the board.
See what happens up front with the line of scrimmage. And can they get Scatterboo going? And do they have time to throw? And can they put any pressure on Ewers? Because certainly that was ridiculous what they did to Clemson on the ground. Mm-hmm. It was stealing. Clemson couldn't get a stop.
No, not at all.
But they moved it on him. And, it wasn't Klubnik did not have a good year, but he was Superman in that game. So that gives Arizona State hope, and I'm with you on the total as well. And you also called this. What if Ohio State was super impressive? Well, it happened. And now Oregon, what was their gift? What was their reward for going undefeated and winning and being the 1 seed? They're underdogs now in the Rose Bowl. I mean, it can't even get a home game. Another thing they have to change. There was no reward to going undefeated and getting the 1 seed. You were better off losing the Big Ten title game.
Yeah.
But here we are now, and this was great, and Pat Forty was there. He was at the game. Number one, I can't believe the fan base turned on him like that. There were 35 to 40,000 Tennessee fans there. We talked about that Friday. I didn't expect that much. But this whole thing about, and several players told it to Pat after the game. We were sick and tired for 3 weeks of hearing, you suck, you're terrible, coaching staff's awful, and they were ready to go. And now you see how much talent they have, and it's just mind-boggling what happened against Michigan. There's so much talent on that field, and with Howard and how he played and taking shots to Smith, it was inconceivable how they played against Michigan in the game plan.
Yeah, and who do you like?
I got to take Dan Lanning in Oregon.
Do you?
Because I thought they were the better team in the first game, and he can just sell this all week. Undefeated underdogs. And Ohio State just played a perfect game.
Okay, so I bet Ohio State laid 3.5 when they played in Eugene. Lost that bet.
Okay, what'd you think?
Now they're 2.5 on a neutral.
Uh-huh.
I think I got to bet them again. I think I got to bet the Buckeyes one more. If I bet them in Eugene, lane 3.5. I don't remember what that number was, to be honest. It was one of the two.
I think Oregon's much better than they were early in the season.
It might be. I'm also a little bit concerned with what happened in the Big Ten title game with the defense.
Yeah.
And the other one,
sure,
as we mentioned, Notre Dame had some injuries. But, they opened up offshore, by the way. At least offshore, they opened up 1.5-point favorites. That flipped. Georgia's now between, I'm looking right now, 1.5 and 2.5 in this game.
Very surprised. I'm surprised.
That Georgia's favored.
Yep. Considering how bad Tennessee looked, considering what Georgia Tech did against Georgia, considering how bad the defense looked against Alabama, it's a hell of a Notre Dame team, even with the injuries. And I think Leonard can make enough plays, and you got a backup quarterback now. So this is not the Georgia teams of the past.
No, it's not.
I'm surprised it flipped. But certainly, as our friend in Denver, Chad Andrus, tweeted, it was a great tweet. You're getting close now where SEC fans got to make themselves a stiff drink and embrace Texas. Because they're almost running out of teams and opportunities here.
Well, they're going to claim Texas has always been...
They'll claim Texas,
yeah,
I know.
Part of the crew.
Yeah.
Win Some, Lose Some is up next. He became the first player in history to accomplish this in 7 straight games. Pauly with the details coming up on VSiN.
Last night? Wow, winning. Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser!
Pauly Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
Great weekend, even though we had blowouts. Saturday, NFL, Mahomes' first touchdown, 45-1 at Caesars. Of course, High ankle sprain my ass. Likely first touchdown 12-1. Anytime touchdown. Pruitt 15-1. Patterson 10-1. Big tickets cashed in that game, and defensive touchdown comes in. First touchdown Sunday, Eagles 7-1. Bad beat if you had the Browns. Going right in, long run by Ford, fumble at the 1.
Yep.
Highest scoring game, Eagles Commanders 8-1. Phenomenal game. How does Daniels keep doing it? Low scoring game, Rams Jets 12-1. I think each team had, there were only 2 possessions in the third quarter. It was an in-play dream. It's incredible. Jets had like an 8-minute drive, no points.
And they just continue to find ways to lose games every week.
They do. Most points, Colts 16-1. Is Callahan gone? Why prolong the inevitable? Get Callahan out of there. Fewest points, Browns 11-1. Quarterback have 5 touchdown passes. Yes, 3-1. Daniels does it. What a comeback. Most passing yards, Goff 12-1. Most rushing, this was obvious. Taylor 8-1. Of course he's going to try to atone for what happened with the silly fumble. Ran all over Tennessee. And will a running back have 200 yards rushing cashed? 11-1. Most receiving, Jefferson 13-1. Huge for the Vikings. College football playoffs, first touchdown, Clemson game, Williams 14-1. Smith for the Buckeyes 8-1. Fewest points, SMU 5-1. Most points, Ohio State 7-1. Most passing yards, Klubnik 12-1. EPL, Man City goes down again. Aston Villa to start the morning, plus 220. Bournemouth 3-1. Good job there by the meat man. Fulham draw, plus 345. 0-0, 11-1. Chelsea, Everton draw, plus 310. 0-0, 12-1. Subscribe, be part of the team. VSiN.com, our radio and podcast friends. You always want to see these tweets and videos. Science Girl, pretty good on X. How about this? Look at that kitchen setup. Kitchen cabinet, kitchen table. That is...
With like the crystal rock or whatever that is?
Yes. Color different. Can you get there?
How much does that slab cost? Oh, my Lord.
Yeah, the island, whatever you want. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, that's impressive.
That one's not like the volcano type looking thing, right? Fire. The first one's not bad, too.
I've never seen anything like that before.
I know. It's like you're in outer space or something, right? That is impressive. Sure. Not bad. Lose some, 49ers. Are they going to finish in last place and lose 11 games?
Somebody show me that ticket.
Wow.
What was that number? And I hate myself because I did play their win total under, but never got involved with like any alt numbers.
Yeah, took money.
What was like under 8.5?
Yep, good call. Let's see those tickets. Anyone know? Niners last place in the alt unders. +2 to -1, no good. Purdy was terrible. Clemson, Texas under, 53 to 40, down to 49. No good. Other lose some. Our buddy Nigel. This is Morecambe. They're in League 2. There you go. That's League 2. That's a $4 hot dog for you. Look at that. It does. Come on now. That's a wiener.
Oh.
That doesn't even come close to filling up the bun. Come on, selling that hot dog for $4 at the soccer match.
It's worse than the one at the Alex.
Yes,
it's a perfectly sane food to eat. No, it's not.
Oh, get that out of here.
Oh, that's right in the trash.
Yeah.
Or
that's if you go get breakfast and it's a sausage link with your breakfast meal.
Yes, exactly right.
They call that a hot dog.
On a bun that's way too big for it.
Get out of here. Good job, Nigel. But that's what you get at League 2. That's League 2, baby. Bad for the books. All 5 favorites covered Saturday. Miami, San Francisco under. 49.5 down to 44. Fell 46. Bengals and under. 6.5 up to 10. 50 down to 45.5. Ice cream. Raiders from pick up to 2.5. They win and cover. Texas, 8.5 up to 13.5. And this just happened. Texas, San Antonio, 6.5 up to 12.5. This morning played Coastal Carolina, who was down to a third-string quarterback, 44 to 15. Bad beats. Rourke, passing yards under. He had 90 yards late in the game.
Yeah.
But then the 2 garbage touchdowns and throwing it late. And, oh, that was a sick beat. I think he finished with 220 or 215.
Well,
what was Signetti doing?
You mean by punting?
The whole game plan.
Yeah.
He's just like, he didn't want to get blown out.
I guess, yeah.
How do you punt? McDonough was stunned. How do you punt in that situation?
I know. I'll give you another one. I had Price, the Notre Dame running back, over 36.5. You see what happened here? He had 38 at one point. 2 more carries, lost 6 yards. That'll do it for him.
Oh, no.
That was a fun way to lose.
Oh, God. Bad beats, Niners under. Chan, you just run the clock out. Fall down, whatever. Get the first. He houses it. And you knew early on he was going to go. He put the foot on the gas, and that was it. What a sick beat to lose that total. Clemson plus 13.5. What are you doing? Who thinks this is a good idea to have the ball at the 1 yard line, or what the Commanders did, 4th and inches, and they're going, and Clemson goes shotgun. 3rd and 4th down from the 1 yard line.
It's
Get
so
under
bad,
center
Paul.
and sneak it and get in the damn end zone.
Yes.
It's not hard. You're giving the defense a chance. And this was a doozy Saturday, an all-timer. The Heat plus 2. They led by 22 entering the 4th quarter. Teams in the last 5 years with that kind of lead, 796-0. The Magic come back and beat them. They outscored them, 37-8?
I think that was
in the
fourth
quarter.
Yeah. That is, okay, I'm done betting for the weekend. I'm going to concentrate on Christmas.
Yeah. That's bad. And sports betting and trading, probability is the ultimate game changer. Unlock the secrets of high probability trading with Todd Bubba Horowitz, a former floor trader and seasoned sports bettor with over 45 years of experience. Visit BubbaTrading.com/VSiN, promo code 500 to save 500. Don't miss your chance to sharpen your strategy and gain the edge in your trading game. BubbaTrading.com/VSiN, promo code VSiN 500. In the win, Joe Burrow, first quarterback in history, 7 games in a row, 3 touchdowns, 250 yards. You said earlier I wouldn't want to see him in the playoffs. Can you imagine if it's Chiefs, Bengals, or Bills, Bengals? But they can't stop anything. But it'd be awesome to watch. And that's just they're up against it though. But he is what a season he's had. What a season Chase has had. There are a lot of great seasons out there that no one's talking about.
Oh yeah. I hope locally there in Cincinnati, Zach Taylor's been getting crushed the entire time.
Right. How do you miss the playoffs with this offense?
And this is what I guess you get for drafting like almost everything on offense early on, right? Going back a good handful of years and kind of ignoring that on that side of the ball. And they're slow starters every single year. That's unacceptable. I get it. The defense is not going to be able to compete if they had to go back-to-back against like the Ravens and the Chiefs, probably catch up with them. But this offense is, it's again, a wasted year here by Burrow. And if you look at it, what he's doing and what Chase is doing, if the defense played well at all this year, and let's say that they were in the playoffs and, I don't know, like the 5 seed at this point or the 6 seed, people would be making a case for Joe Burrow as the MVP. That's how well the guy has played.
Yep. And Lou's probably got to go. Anarumo, the DC. That's the horrible job with their record, how many games they've lost where they scored 30-plus points. Yep.
Who wins the whole thing right now in college football?
Good question. Probably whoever wins the Rose Bowl, I'd say.
Well, who do you think looked better on Saturday, Ohio State or Texas?
Ohio State.
Ohio State was awesome.
Yes. Will Howard was awesome. You see the weapons at wide receiver, and it's a nasty defense.
Oh, yeah, the defense right there, best in the country. One of that. So is Texas.
You got to be concerned with what Clemson did. They had no problems moving the ball. Right?
No, not at all.
But that's why Arizona State could hang. But we could have some unbelievable matchups. Do you think Genty can get it going? Can you just get on my back, give me the ball 35 times, shorten the game, here we go. And because you're right, SMU was moving the ball. If Matson takes care of the ball, and the play action and the tight end's a beast, and they went to Oregon and outplayed them, I mean, they're not going to be afraid. They know they can hang. They've done this before. They've had some incredible wins in the history of the program in the Fiesta Bowl.
I thought Drew Eller was horrendous on Saturday.
Yeah. Some weird decisions, too.
Yeah.
Going for it, and they got bailed out by Jennings. An all-time bad performance in a big game.
As bad as it gets.
Feel bad for the kid.
So I don't know. Like, is Aller going to be a stink bomb, or is he going to be okay in the game? Can Boise get some stops on defense?
Well, he can put pressure on them. They're the top 5 in the country in sacks.
I want to see Genty rip off a long one early because, again, I can say this. I can't prove it. I think the SMU outcome may have been completely different if they didn't do that right away on that 4th and 1 and Jennings lost his mind again. What if Genty rips off a 73-yarder in the first quarter?
It's game on.
7-0 Boise.
And it's game on, and then he can break Barry Sanders' record.
Is it pucker time there for Franklin and company? I can't trust that guy.
Yeah.
Saw a great tweet from, was it Cousin Sale? You know that we have too many teams in the playoffs, and James Franklin is winning the game.
That was good. Yes.
We'll go over playoff scenarios and update future odds in the NFL. Up next, I'm intrigued by a bet that it is currently better than 2-1. I'll explain why next.